All right, good afternoon. This is Darnell, and I'll be taking you through a installation of Magento on your hosting company's cPanel. Log in there, and yeah, so let's get into this. The first thing that we'll need to do is go over to the Magento website and download uh, the zip file for Magento. And so I'll leave this link in the description. And you will need to register on the website before you have access to the download. But once you've completed that, just come here and download the Magento open source zip file at 160 megabytes here. And we're choosing the file without the sample data because the sample data file does not install for some reason. I think it's something that Magento is they're working on, or it's just something that we'll have to come back and do a follow-up video for. Looks like there might be some tweaks or some kind of ways to install it. That's a little unconventional. In any case, once you have the file downloaded to your desktop, what you'll need to do is go to your hosting company's cPanel, and you'll need to find your file manager. And for me, I'm using Bluehost, so mine is under the Advanced tab. I'm just going to click on File Manager. And I'm going to go into Public HTML, and I'm going to upload the file to there. So I've already done that, and so once you've completed your upload, you can follow right along. So once you have it uploaded, what you want to do is just click on it one time and click the extract button and extract files to your public HTML folder. All right. So now that that's done, you can delete the Magento zip file if you'd like to save space. I'll be doing some more playing around with it later, see if I can figure out what's going on with that sample data, and maybe come back to you with another video. But if you want to, just go ahead and delete that. And the second thing that we'll need to do is we'll need to go back to our dashboard, and we'll need to create a MySQL database. So for me, again, this is under the Advanced tab, and I'm just going to scroll down to where it says MySQL databases right here. And what you want to do here is just create a database name. I'm just going to go with Magento. Okay, so it says it already exists, and it does because I was playing with this earlier. Let me just delete that so you guys kind of get an idea of everything we need to do here. I should have deleted that before the video, but I thought I did, but Doesn't look like it. Okay. So when you come into databases, just create a database. I'm just going to call it Magento again. All right. I'm going to go back. I'm going to scroll down to add a user, and I'm just going to call that user Darnell. Give it a password and create user. All right, so I'm going to go back a third time. And I'm going to scroll all the way down now to where it says add user to database. I'm going to click on that username that I created, click on that database that I created, merge the two, and I'm going to give it all privileges. All right, so that's done. All right, so now if we go to our domain name, we're going to get this message that says we need to select the PHP, right? So if you get this message, what you need to do is come back to your database, not the database, but come back to your dashboard, and you need to scroll down to where it lets you select your PHP. In my advanced tab here, if I scroll down, I'm going to see multi-PHP manager. On other hosting companies, it's going to say something like PHP selector. Just find out whatever that is for you and click on it. And then we just want to go ahead and click on the domain, switch the PHP version, and then click apply. Now when we go back to our domain and do a refresh, we should be able to progress with the installation. All right, so read the terms and agreement if you'd like. For the sake of this video, I'm just going to go ahead and agree to set up Magento, start the readiness check, and we're going to be all good. All right, and so let's click next and add the database that we created. So if we go back to our MySQL databases, if you don't remember the name of the database that you created, the whole file name, you can just go ahead here and just copy and paste that in. So copy and paste that in down here where it says database name. And you can copy or paste that in and then just change the user. So we name ours Darnell and give it the same password that we created when we created the user, and click next. Keep the local host the same. So here it's asking for the web configurations. Keep the store name the same. The administration address, change it to something that you're going to remember. Let's say admin_login. So keep it at something that you're going to remember, but also something that hackers and bots won't easily guess. Magento is very popular, especially with enterprise and high volume sales sites. So you know that hackers are trying to get in there and get sensitive data. So just protect yourselves. Just call it something that you can remember, but something that's not easily guessed, and keep that information for yourself. Under the advanced options, if you have SSL already installed with your hosting, then you can go ahead and click those first two options here. I do have SSL installed for this domain, so I can go ahead and click it. If you don't have SSL and you plan on using, maybe Cloudflare, which they do free SSL, you can go register on their website, configure the SSL, and then once you're done with the Magento installation, you can just log into your administration into your back office there and turn on secure URLs. Okay. Other than that, I wouldn't change anything else, and just go ahead and click next. So this page is pretty self-explanatory. Just go ahead and select your time zone, currency, and language. And for the advanced options, the advanced configurations, these are core files that Magento needs to run. I would keep everything here. Maybe there's some things in here you'll never use, but you know, for the sake of this video, I'm going to keep everything here. And who knows, maybe at some point you will use some of these items that are in here and you won't have to go back and reinstall it. So just keep them there and just click next. And then let's create a admin account and, you know, select, you know, set up whatever you like. I'm just going to go with admin and select the password. You see it has some criteria there. Yeah, so when you get that done, go ahead and click next. And now you're ready to finish the install. So once you click the install now button, Magento is now installing, and this is only going to take, you know, about a minute. So at the beginning of the video, when I told you to get the no sample data file, this was why, because if you download the sample data, the file with sample data, you'll get to this portion of the installation. You'll get to about 69–70%, and it will just stall, and you won't know if it's installing, or you won't know if it's stopped installing. It doesn't give you anything. It doesn't give you an error message or anything. So again, once we figure that out, there may be some hacks out there, and that's the thing with Magento that really kills me. I like this platform. I've used it. This will be my first time installing the 2.3.1 version for any kind of use. I think the last one that I used was 1.9. But with Magento, it's a great platform. It's very, very secure, but there's always something going on with it. And if you don't have a team of, you know, web developers at your disposal, you can spend a lot of time just kind of figuring out like how to do certain things, how to fix certain problems, so much to the point to where like you'll never really be able to focus on sales, because it's such a robust platform that has all these different intricacies that you know, you just kind of get tied down. So other than that, it's a great platform. Let's log in and see what the back office looks like. All right, so now I'm also running Magento on shared hosting. You see that I have Bluehost, but I have really shared hosting, and you can see that it works. The installation has gone through. It's successful. We're in the back office here. But if you're going to run Magento in the real world, you're going to have customers coming here, and you're going to have them purchasing services, products, whatever the case is. You want to run this on a service that is suitable for it. So don't run this with shared hosting like I have it set up here. Run it with a VPS. Run it with a dedicated server. These big companies have, you know, money to spend on servers and things like that. But you know, if you're a smaller seller, maybe don't even look at Magento. Maybe just go to OpenCart, or maybe go to Shopify or something like that. If you have, you know, a lot of volume, then maybe Magento is right for you. I don't know. All I'm saying is just run it on something that's, your customers are not going to get fed up waiting and leave your website. And if you don't, I choose Bluehost because of their pricing and their uptime. So even if you were to get a VPS or dedicated server, I would say still go with Bluehost, because from what I've seen, they're probably the least expensive in the industry. But I'll leave a link in the description. Do your research and choose what's right for you. But now that we're here in the back office, we can take a look around. We can, I can see right off the bat that the different tabs and everything over here on the left, they are familiar. And earlier versions of Magento, those used to be, at the top. But everything is still here as far as I can tell. We're on the main dashboard here. So you can obviously tell what that's about. That's just, telling you how many, in dollar amount, how many lifetime sales you have, and your average order, and all of that good stuff. Sales are where it seems to be all your billing information is, your orders, if you want to send out any invoices, your catalog, obviously where your products, and you're going to set up your different categories. You can dig into, your customers here. Maybe even it says now online, so maybe you can see here who is actually online at the time. And I remember when I used Magento 1.9, there was a plugin where I could see what the customer was viewing at the particular time, and if they went to a different page, and you can just kind of track them and kind of see what your customers are doing. So you can play around with that. Marketing, your newsletter should be in here. Looks like they've got some templates, email templates in there. Content is where basically you're going to be building the website. So your front page, and as far as your contact page and your about us page or your about page, you would create it there. Your blocks and your widgets. Your blocks are kind of like the sections of a website, and your widgets are kind of the programs or the add-ons that you want to use in those particular blocks. So that's just something, because we don't have the sample data, it's kind of hard to explain. If we had sample data, I could go into each one of these and I could kind of show you, and then show you how it looks on the front page. But you'll just have to play around with it. It is not the most intuitive, but once you get used to it, it is rather simple to use. But right off the bat, it's not very intuitive. Looks like you can get themes. Magento just comes with this kind of basic one. And if you want to change that, then you're probably going to have a web designer do that for you, or you can download and install a theme, which is going to cost you money. I don't think that there's too many themes out there for Magento that are free. I can tell you, when I used it before, I just went with the theme because the look at that point in time to me didn't matter as much as getting the sale out there, getting the product out there. So I went with the basic one, and it did all right for me. But this is where your themes would go. And store, or here's reports. So you can get an idea of, what's all in here. Abandoned carts, if you want to send emails to those customers, and your search terms. So if someone searches on the front page for something, you can go into search terms there, and you can say, okay, if a customer searches for this particular, if they put this particular search in, you can lead them to this particular page. Yeah, so you can kind of go through all of that. System is kind of where all your options and things are. So, have a look into that. So extensions, I don't think we have too many besides the core ones that we installed during setup. Let's see what comes up, if anything. Yeah, so what happens if we click on add new integration? Yeah. So nothing there. I mean, I would have to play with this a little bit more. Maybe I will play with it and come back and do another video. But this particular video was just about how to install it. Find partners and extensions. So this is where you will find your extensions and companies that have partnered with Magento. You can see DHL shipping's there. I'm pretty sure FedEx and UPS is somewhere in there. Magento Marketplace is what I'm familiar with. And let's go here and see how it looks. Yeah, so right off the bat, we can see some extensions, themes, and we can see that here this Perl responsive theme is about 5. So you're gonna, if you're using Magento, be prepared to also spend some money. This was another thing that I didn't really care for too much, even though the software itself, the community version, is free. It's free to install. It's free for you to do pretty much within reason what you want and use it as your selling platform. But be prepared to pay good money for these plugins and these extensions and these themes. And sometimes you're going to feel like, why am I spending this money for something that should already be in the platform? That's a good conversation to have. But, if you're not ready for this, then, like I said, use something like OpenCart or WooCommerce with WordPress or Shopify. All of them at some point are going to cost money. It's just about where you are with your business and what you need to scale your business. So, yeah. So anyway, I hope this helps somebody out there that's looking to install Magento, or for business, or they're just looking to install it to maybe play around with it and see what it's all about. Yeah. So if there's anything else you would like us to do, install video on, or if you want me to take a deeper look into Magento and do a review on it, or do it versus another shopping platform, go ahead and leave a comment. This is my first video. They'll get better, I suspect, as we go on. If you like this video and have found it informative, leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you soon. All right, guys. Thank you.